Hello, I'm Roy Whiffin, and this is Roy's Rant for Sugarland. And my rant today is about the red light cameras. The red light cameras were initially 9 of them, were put into areas around Sugarland under the David Wallace administration with his guys in 2007 and remained as such until late last year. Last year they changed the equipment and added at least another 2 camera setups. I contacted the city and requested to know who signed for these, who was responsible, and they sent me back the list of the original people back in 2007. And I said, no, that's not what I'm interested in now. What I'm interested in now is the current administration, the 7 members of the council, of which some of them must have signed or agreed or affirmed, whatever you want to call it, to these new cameras and the upgrade. And so far I have nothing back from the city whatsoever. I've requested lots of other things, and I'll get to those later, but it seems that even under the Freedom of Information Act, the city doesn't abide by it and doesn't really care. They think that you're just going to go away. I actually got stopped late last year, and in my ignorance I paid the fine. What you get when you get a violation, and these are colour photographs, supposedly. That is a colour photograph of my car and the violation. So when you get that, you think, oh, you know, I've broken the law. As far as I understand it, no, you haven't. And if you go to trashmyticket.com, you'll be able to read a comprehensive blurb on all of it. When you don't pay your fine, you then get delinquency, and it says, "Dear Sir or Madam, you have failed to respond in a timely manner to the notice of violation listed above. A late fee of $25 has been added to your amount due. If you have not had an administrative adjudication hearing, you have waived your right to have one, and you have waived your right to an appeal this notice. It is your best interest to pay the civil penalties due immediately. Failure to do so within time allowed will cause this matter to be submitted to a law firm for collection and may result in county tax assessor collectors refusing to register your vehicle, which will prevent you from registering or selling your vehicle." Now, as far as I know, you're not allowed to do that. And then you get one of these from a company in San Antonio. Obviously they couldn't find one around here. So this is a collection agency from Lindbarger, Goggin, Blair and Sampson. No notice of unpaid penalties. And then they try to badger you for your money. The police cannot do anything about this. You cannot be whipped off to jail. and you cannot go to court on this. This is the violations of the red light cameras. This is a private company out of Ohio that leases this equipment to various organisations purely for the fact of making money. They have no safety standards, they have no regulations that they have to adhere to. True or not, I don't know, but somebody said that when they changed the equipment, they changed the timing on the changing of the lights so that they'd catch more people. True, false, I don't know. The one that I got caught on was on Derry Ashford and Highway 90. Now, on Highway 90, there is a speed limit of 50 miles an hour. The changing from green to amber to red, so the amber light time, put on a stopwatch, was between 3.6 seconds and 4.1 seconds. I had a conversation with the police chief before I really got involved in all of this, and asked him what was the stopping distance, safe stopping distance at 50 miles an hour, and he said he couldn't tell me. The other thing is, if you look at it logically, I'm not a young person, so my reactions are not what they used to be when I was a teenager, in my 20s, etc. So a reaction time of a second leaves you 2.6 seconds to stop, in my case, a 2-ton vehicle from 50 miles an hour, which is just about possible, making you worry whether the guy behind you is going to do the same or just hit you up the rear. As far as a truck is concerned, an 18-wheeler, tractor trailer, not a prayer. They've just got to go through it. They cannot stop. And I asked about this. I said, in all weather conditions other than ice, can you stop in 2.6 seconds? Nobody could answer me. So remember, trashyourticket.com will give you a lot of information. Now, Mr. Van der Grinton has filed a class action lawsuit against the city, against the mayor. I believe it's against the city manager and against the police chief. So there is a lawsuit going against the city now, and in other cities, in Chicago, in 40 cities in Florida, they've had these cases, and the cases have been won, and multi-million payouts have been given. I'm having to read this, I'm sorry, but I asked if there was traffic engineering studies available for the areas where these red lights are. Nobody's given me anything. And it's one of those deals that it's not just the fact that it's believed to be illegal. Nobody's going to win out of this. If they stay, then they're going to keep hitting you at thousands of people a month that are just that few yards over the line. If the class action wins and they have to pay back all the money and penalties, guess where that money's coming from? It's coming from you and me. So think of that when you next see your council people and how they've treated you and how you're left in the lurch no matter what happens as far as these red light cameras are concerned. You need to contact these people by letter, by phone, by text, by email, by carrier pigeon if necessary, and just tell them exactly how you feel about the way that they're treating you in Sugarland. Next week I'm going to be talking to you about the actual roads. This is Roy Whiffin, Roy's Rant. Bye.